What's up, brother? How are you?
Dude, I am amazing. I am waking up on this beautiful Saturday because, y'all partying all the time.
I love it's one of my favorite parts about these long parties is that you have had a full night's sleep while I've been raging.
Ah, hey, not a full night. I think I was up till 3 or 4, so I only got like 3 or 4
Oh, you
hours.
were lurking.
uh, Fuck, dude. Yeah, I did lurk for a little while.
Classic Eric, man. It's
So
just weird because when you're waking up, I know you don't have a beer in your hand, unfortunately.
that's true. That's true. But I can still have a good time without one. I think now I want a coffee. Coffee. What is it? Do you
Sorry, man.
drink
One
coffee?
second, just figuring some. I still haven't yet to have a sip in my entire life.
What? Do
I
you
know I
drink
don't
any
want to talk about it.
do you drink any kind of caffeine?
Oh yeah, come on. I wouldn't survive. I'm a human.
Right?
Um, But yeah, man, I definitely want to. This is going to be a lot more informal than our other ones, just because it's freaking E-Rock, man, legend. And
Yeah.
so basically, dude, I just want to definitely jump into the Goobers. And you made an announcement in your Discord, a little forward progress in the storyline. So obviously, I want to kind of go over what the hell the Goobers are, the Party Goobz, and kind of what led us to now. And then obviously, I'm more than anyone just so excited to hear a little bit about the advancement of the story.
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm excited to share it because the last week or 2 has been really developing. And so everything's been kind of changing and things are kind of picking up and getting more exciting. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to talk. You can ask me.
What was your announcement in the Discord?
What did I announce? I think. Let me check it out.
The Overlord and all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of exciting because for a while, I've been hinting at a different character that's coming into the story because I was realizing that we needed a different character to create some conflict. And so the idea is if y'all are familiar with the collection, there's this one headpiece with an alien attached to the top of a goob, and he's in this little control panel. Looks like he's kind of controlling the goob, and he's called the Overlord. Now, with this character is going to be coming into the story and just causing havoc, where he will be creating like a computer virus, kind of raging through their system, and the new species will be fighting back. So that's kind of a little bit diving in there on on that element because we originally had wanted to do a comic book, and we know it didn't work out properly. That doesn't mean it's not done, and it's not going to happen. It just got pushed back way longer than I expected due to some other unforeseen issues with the business. And so now the company has taken some massive leaps over the past 2 weeks that we're really excited to maybe make this stuff happen.
Yeah, and man, I know that you're excited to kind of move forward. And let's just be frank, business is business, man. And sometimes business gets in the way of our creative side because it's got to be done in order to sustain. But at the same time, it kind of sucks the life out of you sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like that's kind of what happened over the last year with um, kind of what happened with one of our business partners. And then, but at the same time, I feel like people were pointing fingers, but so we weren't progressing on that manner that we wanted to. But now that that's in the past, and the future is so freaking bright. I'm pumped. I wake up every day now, and I'm like, let's get after it. Let's do this. And
I can hear the smile on your face when you say that. Genuinely.
yeah, dude, it's gonna be really exciting. And so the new collection, what they're gonna be adding is this was it? I think there's a fancy word is interoperability with they're gonna be changeable. So the assets, like your characters, you're gonna be able to adjust them for the story. And so the idea is to be able to create them and match the storyline as it develops. And then I'll be going through and I'll be revamping to Goobz 2.0. So it'd be really beneficial for everyone who supported us along the way. Everyone and all pieces will be benefited. So let's say you are introduced to the Goobz through a party favor in the sense of a party beer. Well, those will be able to be used to gain assets later. You'll be able to burn them. Let's say you have a party goob. Now, the party goobs will be the OGs of the company or the project moving forward. So if you hold an OG party goob, you'll receive benefits for the life of the company. And so we don't want to make people we don't want to make people we don't want people to be forgotten or feel like they're forgotten from like past collections. The goobs will always be a super important role because these as the story develops, we're going to see these two worlds really collide.
You know, and when you started Goobers, that was what I was really excited about, and always have been excited about is the development of the story, and genuinely, man, I say bias is all hell as a Goob whale. I bought in because I love the art, and I wanted to support you and kind of just pushing your mind out to that NFT world because this is exactly what we want. It's the same thing with Hussein listening in with Dark Hal is like building these storylines and diving into the mind of a creator. And quite the opposite, right? Because Dark Hal, he Hussein has six artists. He said on staff. You're the commish GM, owner of the team, and player. So um, I always got a lot of respect for you, man, for handling all the stuff that you do. And then you've been working with the Fine team closer, doing a lot of just kind of diving into what's possible. What can be going forward and stuff. I mean, is that like kind of change your opinion, like 180 of like what you see yourself able to do with the Goose story?
Oh, 100%, 100%. So, as you mentioned, the goobs, I was trying to do too many tasks. So I was doing the art, I was trying to handle community, and I was trying to handle all these different aspects. And that's whenever it's like, no, it just doesn't work. And so I'm really excited to be pushing into 2023 because now we'll be upgrading the team. And so we'll be adding more players to the field where I will be able to concentrate more on the artwork and the storyline, and then we'll have other people designed to handle other tasks, and it'll really allow us to push forward, and that's got me pumped beyond like I can't even say right now.
So you're saying parties?
Yeah, so we're gonna be host like when I really like these events, like the Party Favors event here that you've held down. Because that's the dream, right? And that was, like, the original goal, and that's what we were doing. And then we kinda felt like the parties kinda took a dive for a little while as people spread out and started tangling with, uh, going in different projects, and the whole ecosystem got spread out, which is a great thing. And now I feel like it's almost time to be coming back, to the parties because I feel like that's what people are craving now, you know? And
Yeah,
so
totally. And who was it we were talking with earlier? Was it Crikey? Were you on for the Crikey call? They were like, we want to help people develop 3D and all that. And I was like, Goobers VR.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there. That's whenever I kinda started my lurking. I was like, "Alright, I'm getting kinda tired." Um,
That's funny.
but there's a really interesting team there, and I'm in the back channels are I was already in the back channels with talking with them as collaborative piece, but that's one of the pieces I was talking about, like, so now I'll be onboarding somebody who will be assisting with collaborations because I was trying to balance that as well. It's like, no, I need someone else in the back channels talking to these different projects, making these connections so we can move forward.
You want to make any announcements into who that is, or are we still hush hush?
Right now it's still hush hush. Um, because right now I'm working with one of my buddies here in town, and you might have already seen some of the posts. He's been working on like the Twitter handle and trying to it's like push out pieces there and handle our social media aspects. And then, like I said, I've been working more closely with the Fine team. I definitely have my eye on the, Flow Fubs, so I've been in communication with Luca there, and we're really starting to just kinda spread out and trying to really build out and go further. So, yeah, the storyline will be getting developed with another individual that's in the ecosystem, but I'm not going to name drop yet. And then, yeah, so I'm really excited.
My guy Eric has been working,
Good, good.
working.
Yeah, well, something that's important to me is bringing the value back to the community because these are some of the people that supported us. Now, I realize there's a change in the wind, and we all saw it. So same with like Top Shots, Ballers. We know we saw this pump in the community where all the projects really flooded with value, and now we're seeing that kind of tapering because I think moving forward, NFTs will be seen less as an investment token and more as like a token to just a fun world. And that's what I'm excited about because what we our project's going to be kind of morphing into is it's selling a fun. So I want people to be logging into our ecosystem and just getting some entertainment value. Now, that entertainment value will bring other values to individuals, but I want to our first primary goal is for people to be having fun when they're a part of our ecosystem because that's one of the main things that you know that has value.
I've said it since day one, and we played, on the Oculus together. I'm like, dude, I cannot wait till I'm in the party mansion, the Oculus.
Exactly. And that's such a big thing for us. And now we're seeing all these new teams like Crikey that's coming out and it's going to offer it. Because there was a time when, we all talk about big things like the party. We went hard into Matrix World, and I don't know when that's going to happen. And I'm super excited about it, but I think that's like another year out. But now all these new teams are coming into Flow, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to build some friggin' parties, or we're going to build a world for you to party in." Like Rove, I think what you were using.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
exciting.
That stuff's popping up all over, huh?
Yeah, it is. So man, because you're being a big proponent of just having fun, going out there and really developing. So I think
Yeah,
that
man.
Rove system. Yeah.
Yeah, did you have fun? And what did you think about that? Because again, I wanted to just talk about goobers and stuff, but also like just I'm just curious about your thoughts on coming out of winter, all that stuff. What you thought it showed. Pretty much any opinion you want to share.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Crypto winter sucks, but it seems like there's a change in the wind because of the Twitter piece going on right now. So Elon Musk is doing his thing, and now they're talking about now what is it? More and more people like companies are talking about NFTs. Reddit recently had their avatar development piece, which brings in the ecosystem. I know Dapper. If you read some of these headlines and these articles, Dapper always has their finger in things. Now we're not a Dapper project, and we're not even on the Dapper wallet yet. But anytime they get views, the blockchain is in the picture. But I think
Yeah,
that
totally. Onboarding users for a while. Or that is for us.
exactly right. And so yeah, now we're seeing this development pieces where I kind of feel as if we're going to start coming out the crypto winter a little bit. But I kind of there's a piece of me that thinks the crypto winter was needed. The space blew up and it just shot off like a rocket, just like all crypto did. And then with like all things that go up, they have to come down. And so everything exploded last year, and that was a huge wave of people coming into the ecosystem and going, "Hey, what's all this? It's just really cool and exciting." And then, you know, the doors of like COVID kind of let people back outside again, and then they did, but all these people were like indoctrinated slightly to the our ecosystem, and they'll be coming back soon.
Yeah, I feel for that too. Excuse me. I actually mentioned that with a buddy of mine who was saying about user growth and stuff. And I was like, yeah, technically they're not onboarding many users, but we also lost a lot of users. Just like what you were saying, and it's so now we're not facing just the fast of onboarding new users, but bringing the other ones back.
Yeah, exactly. So bringing the old ones back, and then people lost money. Like I've been underwater in a couple of, I think, all my NFTs, and then this happened to a lot of people, so that burned some bridges for some people. But the thing is, moving forward, I think the fun and excitement, and to me, I think the next real big thing is going to be storylines, like storytelling NFTs. That's going to be
It
the next
seems
big.
like it, man. I mean, honestly, like, were you, I know actually it was probably really late your time. Were you, I think you might have been,
Hold on, you are coming in like a broken robot for some reason.
oh, my bad. I'm too far away from the signal.
Yeah, I'll give you a second to, because I didn't hear your last
Yeah,
question.
actually, my bad. It just came back to us. The signal was kind of wonky. Yeah. So, like, were you in for the crypto pharaohs? Anime?
I was not at that time, but
I
if you want
thought
to
you were
share,
asleep. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, that's kind of what we talked about was like the storyline, how important it is. Aside again, the comics, just creating that world inside of a world. And your two projects are like completely different and so similar at the same time. And it's so cool to see or to hear you say that you think storytelling is going to be a huge part because I also think storytelling, gamification, and just the overall bringing the normie onto the blockchain concepts that's the near future.
that's cool to hear, and I really like, yeah, actually, whenever I logged on today, I had some messages from Dark Hall, so I'll be reading those because he was pinging me, and I'm kind of excited to see
The
what that.
master networker, the
He
master networker.
he is always talking, and so I'm excited to kinda open up that conversation after this one.
Yeah, man.
I
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Eric.
No, you're fine. Because I think we did that one collaborative piece too, and I think I know we did with the party beer, Pharaoh beers. And so I'd love to see how those kind of maybe get a role to play later in their ecosystem. Because the Pharaoh beers were cool. And so Jimbo, but
Oh,
what kind of
testing. Hold on one second, Eric. Sorry.
yeah, you're fine, man. You're fine.
My tech has been amazing today. Let me tell you. Hey,
Oh
the
yeah.
Pharaoh
Yeah.
beer. Did you notice my tweet? I tweeted I was actually in Rove with that as my face.
Yes. It sparked my memory,
So
honestly.
cool.
That was cool.
So cool.
Dude, that Rove piece is fire.
How's your like
I
the only one on Blockdo that I can that and some floats.
Yeah, I think that's
Like
gonna be a little
why?
bit.
How are you the only NFT I can be in Rove? I was losing my shit.
Wait, you could be a RNFT in Rove, or you could be a float.
Yes. No, I
No
could be I
way.
was the beer. I was the Pharaoh beer. All of my beers showed up in Rove.
That's amazing. I have no idea why.
Yeah,
I
right. Eric's in with the Rove people and he's behind my back, hasn't been telling me.
Oh, man. That is hilarious.
Yeah,
Dude,
man. I was like, wait, what? I could be all my beers? Like what?
I bet one of their devs just saw the contract and was like, "Yeah, we can add that. That's
They were like,
hilarious."
what does Jimbo have a lot of? And they're like, holy shit, he has like 60 beers. Let's just make this the
Yeah, but so with that, what you kinda wanted to tap on is moving forward, what I'd like for the beers to do is be usable. And so I don't know if I want them to be burnable because I really like the artwork, but I thought about maybe once they're burned, they have an overlay that says drink. So with the new collections moving forward and with the storyline developing with the squirrels, which I haven't quite come out with a full name for them yet. So let's say you go to mint one. Well, they will be a little bit like Flovatars, where you will be able to design your character, mint it, and then you'll have changeable assets. And but then on top of that, let's say we have a new collection coming out. These could be like paid for with the beers or claimable rather with the beers.
Ooh, I like that. You could drink the beers to like
Yeah.
activate an airdrop concept.
Exactly. So I want to make sure that anyone who has one of our NFTs,
Holy
they're gonna
shit,
be retaining
non-financial
them.
advice, but there's beers for like half a flow right now in the marketplace. It's not financial advice, but
Yeah. Yeah, and then because that's what brings fun, right? And it's having these changes in the wind and go from there. Oh man, I cannot express like how excited this past 2 weeks have been for me because we have finally made some big hurdles and we're moving forward. So with the company,
All right, now let's toss Goobers to the side for a second. Let's just talk NFTs and crypto and stuff.
throw them over there. Let's do it.
Yeah, just toss them for a little second. Let's drink some beers and talk about it. Um, well, this winter, it actually coincided with kind of like a winter for, like you said, the business side of your project and the kind of the not nightmare, we'll call it. That's an exaggeration, but just difficult kind of like navigating through it. With a mixture of that and the crypto winter, it's really refreshing to hear you kind of like really positive and excited about the near future. Do you think that that's like a sentiment that a lot of projects are feeling, or like what do you think the overall vibe of like, we can just talk flow for now, and then we can kind of talk bigger blockchain stuff later. But like, what do you think the overall feel of flow is? That kind of similar to what you're feeling? You think?
Huh? I mean, it's a really interesting question because I don't really know what anyone's feeling because, projects made so much more money, and that's not to say, like, some of these big dapper projects, like, I doubt Flunks is bothered as much by the winter type of stuff. I mean, they netted, like, 2.5 million in 10 minutes, and so we have to evaluate, like, what does crypto winter mean, and then sometimes what the expectations were too for the crypto winter. Because I feel like some people were building and designing. Hey, Munchkin, good morning. My daughter just walked in, kinda threw me off for a second.
Yeah, daughter. Good morning.
Yeah. Alright. So, yeah, the crypto winters came through and, people's expectations were there because what was happening. Like, let's go with Ballers, right? Everyone I liked watching the Ballers because I'm a Baller fan and I still hold, but that's one of the projects that garners a lot of excitement and hate for some reason out of the ecosystem, and sometimes I'm not sure why, because I feel like the Ballers have provided a nice return of value to their customers with some entertainment, but the issue was what could more have been done, right? And I think balancing expectations with meeting your what you said you were gonna do is gonna be also a big part in it, because a lot of people jumped in this ecosystem and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna build this," and then it kinda fell through. And some of it was due to the crypto winter because some people lost a lot of value in their company. If you look at Matrix World, I mean, shit, when they sold their stuff, Flow was worth 60 or no, Flow was worth like $10 a piece. And now it's worth one. So that's an entire company that was designed to build that probably lost like 80% of their company value if they didn't cash out right there. And so there's a lot of interesting avenues. Winter is coming though.
No, yeah, I think it's a good point. I mean, that's a good point what you make about of company values, right? I think that people need to understand that too, myself included. That wind flow. I mean, at one point, what, $40? I mean, even like I
Yeah.
remember the very clear days of $20. Even $10 when you were minting the goobers. And then like get heading down to like $5, $6 when the blocks were minting, heading all the way down to like 175 today, and I'm all stoked at an 8% increase. um, but my point is just to kind of piggyback off what you're saying of that was a lot of those projects funding, and if they didn't pull
Yeah.
that right away, the funding and all of their estimations for funding was down the shitter. And I don't know if a lot of people see it that way.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if a lot of people see it that way, but that's something that we, I think, as community leaders or influencers or all these people, it's something we have to talk about, kind of discuss, because projects have to be open also about these pieces. Because a lot of people, because some of the project leaders are like just as upset with where the market is as others are, like as holders, you know? Because there was a time whenever like projects were popping and going and things were fun. And then, when people start losing money, people like what's the word in English? The launa, the voice, like the overall voice, the feel of the community kind of goes down too. But now, the things are starting to pop off. People are happier when they're making money. And so now that crypto, we need crypto and stocks to be going back up because that whole Ukraine conflict war, it didn't, came right whenever the door is for COVID. People start getting excited about the world again. And that happened on the footsteps of Europe. And so then everyone was like, damn it. Now we're upset about this. Like we were just excited because the doors of COVID were lifted, like all the rules of COVID were lifting. And now this happens. And then people got mad again. And so that's what I'm like, you know what? We're going to concentrate on us and we want to bring fun and excitement and entertainment to the people. And so it's like you can't quite always, so that's where we're going to focus inward on.
Yeah, I love that focus inward. The whole control what you can control, right?
Exactly. Because you get online and it's easily to get upset about like the price of Bitcoin. And I was sitting there thinking, but we have to we have to look forward because all these NFTs, and I'm pretty proud of this because like, you know what? The goobs might not be of value like for the next 6 months in the sense of like where they are as a piece. They are, but we have to think like we have to look 2 to 3 years from now, not today, not tomorrow. Like these winters could last a while, especially with crypto. And we're gonna get more and more people in here. And then these original OG projects will grow with that, right? All of a sudden, people are gonna be like, dude, y'all remember 2 years ago when there was nobody on Flow blockchain besides like 2,000 people? And all of a sudden, in 2 to 3 years, Flow could very well be the next hot thing compared to Ethereum. Because let's say we're still like we're still tiny compared to them. But let's say Flow's huge in a year or two, dude, this is gonna be the game-changing aspects.
Yeah, I had a good talk with Jacob Tucker earlier too, a good little AMA about why he thought flow, has its positives and negatives, but why he kind of thought it was the future. And it was almost strictly due to the language of cadence. And he had attested a lot of that to the idea that it's just advanced and he looks forward to continuing to write epic code as we continue to code in. So like I think you're right. I think some of the coolest projects in the world are gonna start coming over here.
Exactly. Yeah, I kinda heard a little bit about that too from him because he was building and, he's such a powerhouse individual, and he has such a great energy level. Anytime you hear him, that dude sounds I remember what but, I mean, he is 20, right? I remember my energy when I
Excuse
was
me, he's 21 now.
Hey, for happy birthday. I remember when I was 21 and I had all types of energy and I was looking to pump up the world, and I still do, but shit.
I said the
Um,
same thing to him. I go, "You young, ambitious son of a bitch." No, we need that though, and he's a perfect example of like someone like these younger generations that we want to support and empower.
he is, and exactly, and that's the people you do wanna support and wanna see him because he's building all these like, things for us. He built what? The float for us, the different avenues for the different channels, or all these, how we get our roles.
The
He's
Emerald Bot, yeah, they got a lot of good stuff going, man. We had a good chat. I would tune into that recording's pretty rad.
I definitely will.
Yeah, he had a lot to share, and he doesn't do animes often, so it was really cool to kind of hear it. But yeah, man, you know what? I'll tell you, like the theme of all these AMAs was the projects are like it's like crazy because, like you said, storyline, gamification, but more so than almost either of those, Eric. Like I've noticed the projects are building tools on that road to their goals, and they're realizing how important it is to like make those tools templates and allow other projects to use them so that we don't have to rewrite you know
Oh,
the,
for
the methods.
sure. For sure. And that is such an exciting piece because like I said, now we're talking with I'm talking with all these different developers and it's going to make creation so much easier moving forward. Whenever we got into the mix, whenever I got into building NFTs, not as many people had the different idea or possibilities to just simply build as we do now. And Like Tucker was saying, they're building Touchstone. Fine, they're building the Forge. Flovitar, they're building Fubs. Sneaker Hut, they're building the Flow Score, you know? And so we have all these different pieces, and the Goobz, we're gonna be building just a badass world. So I wanna focus on storyline and the world. Everyone's building. And I know that's one of the Dark Hall in there too, in this piece, posting. I know they're
That's
building.
literally him for the record. Like that looks like
It
him on a
is.
daily basis.
It is. I met him when we were in NFT NYC, and actually I was scheduled to have a conversation with him, but then I was like, man, I can't. I don't know why. I'm just so sick. And turn to find out I had COVID like everyone else that went to
And not
NFT
turn to find
NYC.
out, your boy Jimbo told you had COVID.
You did. You were like, dude, you might have COVID. You look rough. And I was like, dude, I feel so bad. I get back to Germany and like my wife's like, dude, you look bad. And I was like, I took my test. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I got COVID. And so like I quarantined after flying across the world. And so I quarantined and yeah, that was rough. But I like it because like that was the official POAP of NFT NYC.
Yeah, COVID was the POAP.
Like, were you there? Did you
That's
get
fucking
the
that's fucking funny, man. Yeah, did you guys get the POAP? And they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, COVID. Yeah,
Oh,
it's actually on chain. You should have minted your test. Is what you should have did.
right? They just had everyone do that. That was funny.
Dude, that's,
Uh,
crazy. Yeah, no, it was super cool. I mean, it I don't know, it's really interesting looking back on New York because let me ask you this. That was July, it's October. It's not that long ago. July, August, September, October, 4 months,
yep,
right?
yep.
Um, Looking back, knowing what you know now, feeling how you feel now, can you imagine how much different New York would have been and like taking more advantage of those in-person meetups? I mean, I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but I feel like we were all kind of overwhelmed. And also not like in a bad way, but just like overwhelmed in a good way. It was just so fun to just kick it with people you've known for a while. I feel like I definitely did less business than I had intended to. I don't regret it by any means, but it's funny because it was just so fun to kick it with everybody.
Dude, you nailed it. You like 100%. I had the same feelings. But I don't know if a lot of people know this. I know you know this, but dude, I had a burn. If so anyone in the audience who don't know, I had a burn to the bottom of my foot. I think 2 days before I went to NFT NYC. And so I had like a 2-inch circular second degree blister on the bottom of my right foot. And so I was like, I was walking through all these events
Wait,
and I was
wait,
trying to hold calm.
wait. It was so bad, guys. It was so bad. Like this dude took off his sock and was like, when he kept saying I have a burn, I was like, oh yeah, that sucks, bro. Oh man, whatever. Like power through it. Dude took his sock off, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "Bro." He's like, "Yeah, I'm putting Neosport on." I'm like, "Bro, they're gonna amputate that fucking thing."
Yeah, dude, it was so bad. And so I was sitting there and I was like trying to keep my thoughts there, and my foot was literally just pounding. And I was trying to have these conversations and like stay in the moment, and my foot was just throbbing. So next year around, I'll definitely be more like in it to win it.
Oh, we're still getting drunk, but yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
feel it.
Well, yeah. Well, like, cause something that, and this was something because me and my business partner had like a conflict of interest. Cause next year that I wanna host. Like, I went to the Ballers party, I went to the other parties, like, "No, next year, I want the Goobz to have a party at NFT NYC." Like, that's what because that's what I established the project for, that's what I had originally built this, designed this for. I was like, this was my goal is to have host these parties, and
You
so
wanna you
that
wanna throw this into the manifestation? You wanna just manifest it real quick?
let's manifest it. I want it to happen.
Alright, so next year, hopefully not in New York, but if it's in New York, NFT NYC, if we go back to New York begrudgingly, I'm going to manifest working with Nina with Fright Club, B Mart with Sneakerhood, because they're two New Yorkers. And I know with their connections, we can get a space and we can collab
Yes.
with, I know Hussein's in the crowd and he'll be there.
Hell
Let's
yeah, he will.
collab some OG flow projects and make it happen and throw a fucking banger.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Let's do it. And then we'll you know what we'll do? Let's manifest this right now. Let's hold ourselves accountable. You know what we're gonna do, Eric? Put this
What's
on
up?
your million thing to-do list.
Yep.
Let's print party beer labels and put them on the beers for the event.
Oh, dude, figure out a
Let's
way
fucking
to
go.
make me remember that a year from now, because
Oh, we're
that's
doing it.
amazing.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We'll do labels in the beers. Um,
Yes.
let's do it. Let's already start working again. This is You're the fourth project I've interviewed that is fiending for in real life events and activities. I've been working on it in the background. Genuinely, I'm not trying to promise this and underdeliver, but I used to be into parties and events, and so I do still have some connections, and it's been a high priority of mine to bring some in real life utility personally, selfishly to the party favors and to be able to do that for all of the flow projects that I have had so much fun growing with over the last year. That would be so freaking fun.
You would be amazed. That would be so cool, so fun. Because it was, when I was there this time around, there was all these different, projects there, but there was no re we needed
Dude,
I
the
kind of feel like
ballin' party was so fun at first. We were jamming.
yeah, it was. I kinda felt like Flow blockchain needed to take a little bit more of an organizational path to that. And that's not finger pointing, but I feel like they had the connections needed to organize it because they already knew everybody and they could have been like, hey, let's have a flow oriented event and where all the flow projects came and partied or came together and associated. So
A
they had a
hundred
booth,
percent. Yeah, I
but
understand, but no, not to point fingers, but look, I dropped the ball plenty of times in my life. It's okay to
same,
use that
same.
same. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. The collaborations could have been times 10, but it's okay. We learned from that. I'm glad that it happened so that we could sit there and be like, look what we could do next year now.
Well, and two is I don't we have to emphasize not pointing fingers because you have to understand too, is like Flow is still young and this is a new chain. I met Andreas and Carol and Albert, and I met a lot of these guys, and they're really great people and interesting people. And we have to think that I think next year they're gonna have a game plan going in also. And they have a game plan for the future of the blockchain and I have a lot of faith in them. And I'm super excited because the Flow blockchain is growing. And since gas prices, yeah, I went to the tax advisor the other day and they go, and we turned in all our transactions and they go, they're like, we don't know what to do with these gas fees because the gas, like it's the price of gas fees are so low on Flow, it doesn't interact with their system. Like, I mean, think about that. Like, how many interactions we can make on this chain for almost free? Like, Flow will
Yeah,
be tomorrow's blockchain.
it is so wild. I just think it's the most underrated fact about the blockchain. It's like everybody goes, well, Polygon and Solana are very similar. And I'm like, yeah, but they're not doing millions of transactions with. And that's what these sports NFTs are proving to us, if anything, right? Like you can have your
Mhm.
opinion on the rate of return or return on investment or anything you want to talk shit about Top Shot and all the other things down. Let's talk some shit. However, the one good thing it's doing is approving transactions, floats, proving transactions.
Yep,
Millions of floats minted. Imagine that being on another blockchain, what that would have cost.
exactly. And so now we have all these different projects building and like excitement's coming. And I think the future of Flow blockchain is definitely there because something that sucks that I've been fighting is a little bit of this is I think what we're gonna have to just lean into is that this KYC elements that Flow is really kind of supporting. Like KYC, we saw shut down a lot of the sadly Russian holders or because there's conflict. But sadly, that's gonna be the future of the blockchain because governments we're gonna have to work with governments and Flow is working with governments. And hopefully that will all be in the past and everyone will have access to their assets again. But Flow, I find, is working with the incumbent system to become legal, and it has a stronger case study to survive whenever governments start implementing regulations on the blockchain. I know that was might have been complicated. I might not set it the best route,
No, you
but
did. No, you're 100% right. They're preparing for the inevitable.
exactly, because we're not gonna, I think, Cardano, I was a huge Cardano fan, still am. I like what's his name? Charles. He's a very intelligent guy. And but you can tell that they're kinda, like, fighting the system. They want to, like, breach out and, like, help be a little bit of a resistance to it. But I think for the large part, especially for, like, American and European holders, Flow blockchain is gonna be a strong chain for going forward. I think our Cardano is gonna be huge for, like, African countries or these other countries looking to kinda, like, separate themselves from their government because inflation's an issue. I say that as, like, inflation runs rampant through, Germany right now. But yeah, so I cannot express how excited I am for the Flow blockchain, for the Party Goobz, for the squirrels, because the squirrels are coming, man, and, like, I'm so excited for those because with these cheap interactions, we're gonna be able to do so many more different things with them because the Goobz, I love the Goobz artwork, and so Goobz 2.0 is gonna be coming out where they're gonna be changing, next year after the squirrels. And so we're just gonna be developing and building and getting people excited again.
Well, you got me excited. I can't wait for my goober to chase some squirrels.
Hell yeah, because like, that's the point of it, right? Let's get nuts. One of the slogans on there is, "Got nuts." So that's kinda like one of their things they kinda say, and I'll be adding that in there as a little comical relief.
Yeah, man. I mean, your art style is obviously, like I said, man, a big fan of it. You did this Party Favor Series 1. They were well received and well loved.
Thank you,
And
sir. Thank you,
you know,
sir.
you're crushing your designing and all that stuff when it comes to graphic design and all that. So whatever you come out with, man, I'll be in full support. I'll be super stoked to be a part of it. And again, just I'm looking forward to kind of just hanging in the party mansion one day. And I know you take a different route. You're focused on the storyline and stuff like that. Do you have you ever like been thinking about any type of, and I use this word loosely, gamification or anything like that of like inserting the NFT into any storyline? Or you were talking earlier a little bit about affecting your NFT based on the storyline, so that could be a little bit something to talk about for a second.
Yeah. So I would love a couple of different avenues. So the first, our gamification moving forward with the squirrels will be, do you remember reading, like when you were younger, reading those books where it goes on a storyline and then something, you have like choices, and then depending on your choices, story developed further.
Yes,
And
yes. There's even
yeah, like,
TV shows like that on Netflix and stuff now.
yeah. So that's how I want, that's not how I want. That's the current game plan. So I'm working with actually a couple different friends that are also writers now because we want to be adding this element to it. Because, like I said, I want to be focused on this, go back to focusing on what I'm good at, and that's drawing. And so I'm roping in more individuals to start bringing that out, that gamification. Because let's say there's this special nut in a tree, okay, and then your squirrel is going up, your scientist with, okay, the scientist squirrel is going up, and to cut that nut, he needs a sword. And now, if you have that sword equipped during this moment in time, you'll be able to claim this nut, which is used as a different asset to build out the story. And that's kind of what it's going to be about. So we'll write out this a fun storyline. You'll have to equip your character appropriately, and then you'll be able to claim these fun, like, accents that further develop the story. And that will develop the next piece that we end up writing. And so we're gonna have a couple months worth of story already ready to go once they launch, but then people's interactions will start morphing it after that.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I used to scream at you I remember our
Yeah, yeah.
conversations. I'm like, Eric, what did I scream at you about? What was it? Do you remember?
No, because I feel like
A lot of
you've screamed
things.
at
I
me
probably
into other
scream
things.
about a lot of things. This
That's
is like
okay. I've screamed at you
it's a
before too,
highly
so
it's a highly abusive relationship, but we love each other. I said, Eric, I go, Eric, what are you fucking good at, man? What do you love to do?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
And you said draw. And I said, then fucking draw, man. Create, like keep creating because I think it's so important, man. And I think your story and your mindset has an opportunity to be, you know, an example for other artists that don't try to take on too much and don't get prideful or none of that stuff. Like just find a team, find the right team around you, surround yourself with people who believe in you, you know, portion that work off to each other. That way that people can focus on their strengths and you first and foremost can focus on the art.
100%, 100%. So if anyone's in the crowd thinking about creating a project, don't try to take on too much about yourself. Definitely incorporate others. And so 100%, I remember that you would tell me that, and in my head, I'd be like, Jimbo, how am I supposed to draw when I have all these other things going on? I got Discord, I got Twitter, I got this. Like, when am I supposed to be drawing? You know? And so you're trying to do all these different things because sometimes you have to relinquish control, right? And that's kind of scary at times because to put it correctly already, so I'm working with one of my buddies and he's kind of handling the Twitter here lately. And he posted something that I immediately didn't agree with, right? Because I thought it didn't quite match my style, but I had to come back and be like, Eric, that's what it doesn't matter. That's them. That's just why they're there. You have to let go of these control patterns. And so the story was in my head, but you have to let others come in and take it off the reins for the story to develop. So yeah, I'm so excited to actually
That's
take your advice.
terrifying for an artist though, yeah.
A little bit, because I think we as artists we kind of like get these mindsets, and we don't want others to manipulate our ideas. But you have to let go, let it go, let it go. You have to let go and be like, hey, others are gonna build on it, and teamwork really does make that dream work, because without other people, you're really limiting what you can do. And it took time to learn that. It did. I grew so much over this past year, and that's something I'm proud about, because I'm like, you know what? Going into 2023, I'm fucking ready. Let's make it happen. Let's build. Let's excite. Let's get more people.
Oh, let's
Let's get them all in.
go.
Let's get everybody in here. Fudge.
Let's
I
go,
think
man.
and that's what I told you as well. I mean, because we've had these conversations like, Jimbo, dude, host your parties, do what you do best. Like you're a man of the people. People like to hear you talk. People like to get you pumped. It's great times. So yeah, I mean, listening to you and your feedback, and me providing feedback. This is the world we live in, man. I'm so excited.
Yeah, man. There's I'm I never had a doubt in you whatsoever, man. You haven't the longest we've gone without chatting is when I disappeared to the Colorado Rockies for about a week and a half. And so
That no, that was odd. I was like, where the fuck is Jimbo?
you know, hey, look, I promise not to bring down the mood. I had that in real life situation
I
happen
read
where I
about it.
lost
I
a
read about
buddy
it
of
apparently.
mine, and you know, hey, look, look. I mean, I always get real philosophical with you, man, but I understand death. I really do. I consider myself lucky. I'm not proud by any means that I understand death, but I know I appreciate death as a part of life. And so when people die, there's always that time for mourning, and for me, quickly it changed into appreciation because once I mourn, that person is no longer alive. So now you have to shift to the memories and appreciating and carrying that energy forward. So it took me a few days to just kind of what I call like churn that energy from just like, man, I was so sad, man, it sucked. And then like I'm saying this all with a smile, like I
Yeah.
said, I mean not like in
Well,
a negative, sad way at all, but I churned that energy into like passion and something that inspired me and encouraged me and kind of gave me more fuel, you know. And so when I took the few days completely off, I took about 4 days completely off, didn't talk to nobody on the internet. Just went to the Rockies and got lost in the mountains and it really opened my eyes to like again, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I spending so much time doing this? And it was for the same things that my buddy was doing his stuff for, which is to enjoy what you're trying to save, and that's been my theme as of late. Is just, you know, Eric,
Mhm.
don't forget to enjoy what you're trying to develop, what you're trying to save, what you're trying to,
Well, I
create.
yeah, I read that and I didn't know what to say at that moment in time because like death is powerful, but I'm really happy to hear that how you approach it because I kind of take the same approach with death. Death is a part of life, and he might have he died in a plane crash, which is kind of a really cool way to go out if you think about it. Like,
And I'd talk shit about it all. It's crazy that you say that because one, you're a pilot, and it's scary thing. You're taking that risk. This dude did everything. He's an awesome human, and he flew his mom to the Bahamas in one of his
yeah,
seaplanes, which is so fucking cool. And he like landed right on the water, so cool. But what's crazy is I always joke, morbidly joke, with people when I'm selling activities out here, and there's a helicopter ride that goes through the island of Molokai, and I go, and when I notice people are scared, I go, look, I hate to break it to you, you're gonna die at some point in life, and let me give you a situation. So 30 years from now, you're at your high school reunion. They're like looking around. They're like, your ex girlfriend or whoever is like, yeah, oh shit, where's Eric? Oh yeah, Eric. Oof, Eric's not around anymore. He didn't make it. They're like, oh no, what happened to Eric? And they're like, man, he died. He crashed into the tallest sea cliffs in the world on the backside of a Hawaiian island. And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, holy shit, that is
that's a
so
good way
epic,
to
Eric.
go.
Or, oh yeah, he got hit by an Uber in New York.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
You,
That'd be
know,
lame.
so so it's funny that you say that, man, because again, life is short. Enjoy it to the fullest. And again, man, I consider you a friend, an ally, a fellow revolutionary. And we're gonna keep continuing to to build out this space, and first and foremost, man, give power to the artists. Give that power to people like you who create these worlds. To help us enjoy this short mother in life.
Hell
Eric, I'm gonna give
yeah.
you the last few minutes, man, just a very light shill or whatever the hell you want to say about Goobers. Throw your passion out there. Let people know how they can support you. Again, I'm gonna throw these up against my initial will. I'm gonna throw all these recordings up onto a Spotify account and just allow people to come back and listen to them in a year or so.
Awesome. Yeah. So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. If you want to support us, get involved in the Discord channel. Start letting us develop the story. I get that we all have lives, and so what if you could do is just get in there, start talking about what you would like to see, how you want to see the project develop or the storyline, and read about how what we're doing. Hold on to your NFTs because they will be bringing in some more value in the future on the sense of like development, and then they will be able to transform in the future into different pieces, which is going to be cool. And stay in the NFTs. Don't leave the space because of like the crypto winter. If you do leave, come back. Support Jimbo. Support the parties. Like fuck. If you're going to do one thing, support Party Favorz because the Goobs are going to be rocking these parties every month as well. And so that's something that's important to me is get in there, get your party favors. And if you support Jimbo, you support the Party Goobz. And if you support the Party Goobz, you're supporting me. And yeah, oh man, I'm terrible at salesman. That's why I'm building out the team. And I'm gonna
You're a great salesman, man. You're an honest dude. There's nothing I would
oh,
describe you more as being than honest, man. You're an awesome dude. You're a piece of shit. I love you, and you're fucking honest, dude. You're so honest. You're a little shit talker. I love you. Appreciate your time, man. Just waking up. You got the fam. Go enjoy some time with the fam. Again, man, appreciate the Party Goobz. I can't wait till the next chapter. The last little flowers, man, airdrops, collabs, you've done it all. I cannot wait for traits. I cannot wait for changing. Oh, it's gonna be so fun, man. So I look forward to it with great anticipation.
thanks for having me, Jimbo.